that yummy?
Is that a yummy peach?
Yummy.
All right, what's up guys? Welcome into another Ryan and Megan video. We are so excited for this weekend because this is the first weekend we're gonna go camping with Reagan. Now we've done some camping in our RV that we still have, Big Betty, where we lived full-time as travel therapists. But since owning a home here in St. Louis, we haven't done much camping like Megan and I used to in the rooftop tent. Now if you see over my shoulder, the old Adventure Subaru does not have a rooftop tent on her because we are not camping in a tent, but we're camping in this. That's right, we bought a pop-up. So yes, we did end up buying a pop-up camper. It was kind of a quick decision by us. We were trying to figure out how do we go on these travel contracts out of state and still get to do the fun weekend adventures that Megan and I have grown accustomed to. Because with a young child, camping in a rooftop tent was just seeming unfeasible to us. And so we started thinking up of solutions. We didn't really want to buy a big new camper, but we wanted something small that we could quickly hook up the Subaru to and just head off for the weekend. Now, a lot of you guys might be asking, well, don't you already have a camper? Why don't you go camping in your camper? Well, Big Betty, our Class A RV, is what we sometimes live full-time in while on travel contracts. And what happens is when you live full-time in an RV on travel contract where you're in one place for like 3 to 6 months, you really get living in that RV, meaning it's kind of a hassle to move it for a quick weekend trip. It's not in what we would call travel mode. It's in live full-time mode. And then you add a baby on top of that with everything that comes along with the baby. It just didn't quite seem feasible, or we didn't want to risk going out on the weekends in Big Betty just to risk, you know, it breaking down somewhere way off when we were adventuring, and now we don't have a place to stay to come back to work. And so we kind of needed two solutions, and we discovered this early on in our travel careers, and that's why we got the rooftop tent, because Megan and I could go out on the weekends and it was quick and fast, and we just needed a place to lay our head. Well, with Reagan along, and with us doing some contracts maybe in the Midwest more, we needed something that was climate controlled. And so you see this pop up over my shoulder here. That was a must. We needed to have an AC unit, especially if you've ever done any camping in the Midwest, just like it is right now. It's almost 8 o'clock and it's still like 85 degrees and super humid. My shirt is soaked with sweat just standing out here talking to you guys. So we needed an AC unit if we were going to do any camping around here and we were going to enjoy it. We also wanted some heating. This does have a furnace, so if we ever go camping somewhere and it gets cold at night, not in the Midwest, then we would be able to regulate that temperature just a little bit better than a rooftop tent. Now, it's nothing luxurious. It's essentially a tent on a trailer, but we do have some climate control and a little bit more space, especially if it rains. Then we have a place we can be at and not just in this tiny 2-person rooftop tent or in our car. And so this is the first weekend we're going to test it out. We did a lot of cleaning to it already. It was not the prettiest, so we've scrubbed it down. It's looking pretty good, but this might be a rough trial run. You guys ready?
We're ready. How far is our drive?
Like 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's way better than I was thinking. In my head, I was like, do we have to drive 5 hours?
No, I don't think so, but we are getting a late start, like usual. Well, we got reservations.
Yeah, that's not something we usually have. Okay, she's all in her jammies. She had a nighttime snack, so she should fall asleep, hopefully.
Well, we got in last night and got the pop-up set up. Pop-up is a little deceiving because it definitely takes like 20 to 30 minutes to get this thing fully up and going. But I think that'll get better over time once we get used to our systems and how to open it up efficiently. I'm hoping to get that down to like 15 minutes. But right now it's taking us a little while, and we definitely have way more stuff than we probably needed to bring. Just because this is our first time camping with Reagan, and it's all very new to us as new parents, so we're not quite sure what to bring and what not to bring. But we definitely have like one whole side of the bed of this pop-up, like one bed of the pop-up on the other side is full of our storage stuff and junk. So we need to kind of tone it down a little bit and bring less, but we'll figure it out. We want to give you guys a tour of our new pop-up and show you kind of what we've done to it already, and show you kind of what things we like about it, what things we don't like about it so far. Again, we haven't had it very long, maybe a week or two, and this is our first trip, but we want to give you kind of that first walkthrough of the pop-up, but we'll have to do that later because right now we are actually heading over to meet my parents at Ha Ha Tonka State Park here in Missouri to go see these cool castle ruins. And so we're going to go hop over there to the park and do some hiking.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh.
Okay, so we're at Ha Ha Tonka State Park, and there is some castle ruins here. Super cool. This castle was built in the early 1900s by a Kansas City businessman, and then he died in 1906. Then his sons finished it in the 1920s, but it ended up catching fire, and this is all that's left. So it's kind of crazy. It used to be completely finished. It actually looked really cool inside. Kind of reminds me of the Biltmore that we saw a couple weeks ago. It's a shame that it's destroyed, but it's really neat that they kept the ruins here, and there's a really nice paved pathway up to the ruins. It's easy to access with strollers or wheelchairs or stuff like that. So I think we're gonna walk around it. You can't like get in on it without trespassing, but I'm excited to look at it.
I think you used to be able to just continue on this pathway here and actually go look around inside the ruins, but now they have this fence along here, not letting anyone in, but still looks really cool from the outside, big and castle-like.
I just want to go in. I want to be irresponsible and non-respectful and go in, but I won't. It's just so cool. There's history. You can let your mind go and think about what it might have looked like. I'm just picturing like Missouri's Biltmore, and like if it was here, then we would have this awesome park, and there would be a full farm, and there would be a winery and stuff. But no, it's just ruins.
What do you think, Reagan? What do you think? She's like, watch what I can do with my legs. Watch what I can do with my legs.
I'm going.
And a little adventurer conking out on her hike. So we just hiked down a bunch of steps to the Ha Ha Tonka Spring, which is Missouri's 12th largest spring. And what's amazing is it averages daily more than 58 million gallons coming out of this spring. And you can see it, it's just like the start of a river. I mean, truly, just flowing out of the rock and underground. And it looks so good to get into, especially because we're hot and sweaty right now. But they say no swimming, so.
Great. Hot, sweaty, but great. Real great because Ryan elected to walk back up all those stairs to go get the car. So while I feel really bad for him, I feel really good for me.
Well, interesting turn of events to the day. So we enjoyed going over to the Ha Ha Tonka State Park, hiked around. We even got into this really great natural water spring, actually a little bit down from the spring because you weren't allowed to swim near it. But it was like super cold and fun. Then we went out to eat with my family just to get out of the hot day. It had been 100 degrees all day and humid. And then a storm rolled in, a big storm.
Yeah, and all of our weather apps were saying it was just gonna like move through the area super quick, but it kind of hung out for a little while right over the state park. And we were driving back into the state park right after dinner, thought it had been through, but actually it was still kind of finishing doing its thing. So we drove in and there was a tree covering the road.
Yeah, blocking our path, and multiple trees beyond that blocking the path. And so we couldn't even get to our camper.
Nope. So we turned around and did some shopping, which I had fun with. But then we came back and all of that has resulted in no power to the entire campground.
And there's like over 150 campsites here with electric. And so none of them have electricity. They got the electric company coming out to try to figure it out, but they're not sure how long it'll take to get that electricity back on. And that was one of the big reasons why we got the pop-up camper. It was so we could run the AC here in the Midwest when we try to camp in the summer.
Because it's so hot and humid.
Yes, it's very hot and muggy right now. And so we got all the windows open. Luckily, no branches fell on our pop-up. And so we're trying to decide now, do we stick it out? We do have our little 12-volt battery, so we can run a little fan, our exhaust fan, to kind of help get some airflow, but it's still really warm. It's like 85 right now, feels like 92 because of the humidity. But in the meantime, while we are here, let's give you guys a tour of our new pop-up. So our pop-up is a 2004 Flagstaff by Forest River. It's their MAC line, so I believe it's 205 MAC, and MAC stands for Most Affordable Camper. So it's one of their better lines.
Most affordable campers.
Yeah, and so that's what we are, Most Affordable Camper. We bought this off Facebook Marketplace used, and just like anything that's over or 18 years, 15 plus years, it needed a little bit of work. And so a lot of the vinyl we've already cleaned up, made it nice and bright. Yeah, a lot of bit of work.
Yeah.
Even on the inside, some of the canvas still had some of that black speckling kind of mold.
Some of the canvas.
Most of the canvas. Okay. I view it a whole lot better than Megan did. But through our cleaning process and some awesome videos over on YouTube with It's Poppin', it got it all cleaned up and it looks really nice. And it's a smaller camper. It's when we have it all out, it's 20 foot long. It's about 7 foot wide. Of course, our Adventure Subaru can pull it with ease. And it's about perfect for us. So let's go take a look at it. All right. So as you can see, it's really not that big of a camper, but it pops up. It gets very big. And so we'll go ahead and head in here. Only cool thing out here is a nice little step. We do have an awning that does work and looks really good. We just don't have it out now because of the storm. And then you have this fun light here.
So fun.
So let's go on in. As you can see, we have Reagan over here on the bigger bed. This is a queen size bed. Over on the other side is a full size bed. So we definitely are over here on the queen. There was a queen RV mattress already put in here, kind of a bonus thing that the previous owners had. So really nice over here, and Reagan's playing. Down here below is a fridge, a little 3-way fridge. That means it can run off propane, the battery, so 12 volt or shore power. Another big thing why we got this camper, it's kind of a rarity to have a floor model that has a toilet in here. This is a cassette toilet, so you can take it out and dump it at your pit toilets. And it also has a shower. Not that on the weekends we're doing much showering, and that'll get used, but it's nice to have in case we do want to use it, get a little cleaned up, you know, rinse off. That is all there, and a shower curtain goes up and around. But the toilet is nice. We don't have to walk a mile to the pit toilets, because everyone doesn't like using pit toilets. So close that. Then over here, this is the kitchen, and pardon the mess, where we're figuring out all of our camp stuff. Right here is our stove. We have a 3-burner stove that we can pop up. We used it this morning to make eggs, our typical breakfast. Really awesome. This allows us to cook in the camper even when it's raining outside, to where the rooftop tent, when if it was raining, we had to cook outside in the rain and it just didn't work. So we ended up just not eating. But this is nice. We can cook meals here. We also have a sink that you already see has dirty dishes in it. Runs off a little pump. Also very nice to have so we can wash our hands and wash bottles and stuff for Reagan. We have a little dinette here that does flip down into a bed, a very small bed, but some kids could sleep on it. A nice place that we can eat some meals inside. And then, like I said, over here is all of our fun camping stuff on the full-size bed. And so we have more room as our family expands. So that is the pop-up camper. We really like it so far. Now, we've only gotten to use it a little bit, but we're really excited to see what adventures that we can take with it, especially as we just got our next travel contracts. And so we will be working out of state, but really close to Missouri. And so we're going to bring this with us, because on our weekend adventures, we're hoping to take this and camp in it and save on lodging costs, so we don't have to go to hotels and spend $250 a night. Really cool. We're testing out the systems, and we'll definitely let you know how it goes as we get to using it a little more. But so far, so good. We just need power so we can run this AC unit. The RV does come with heating too. There's a furnace down here. Really has all the bells and whistles. They're just old bells and whistles, so they might need a little bit of elbow grease to work to perfection. Megan, were you very sold on the camper?
No. I wasn't sold on the idea of a pop-up, and then we were waking up in it this morning and I was like, gosh darn, Ryan talked us into it. But actually, it's going to work out really well if we have power to be able to camp with Reagan comfortably. So, our luck that there was a thunderstorm
on the first
trip.
What do you think? Oh, look at you, big girl. What do you think about all this? You just having fun. Good morning, everyone. It was an interesting night, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so last night was interesting. The power was off until about midnight. And the reason we caught it at midnight is because nobody was sleeping. So without the AC, it also kind of functions as a noise machine for Ryan, for Reagan. So with every truck that was pulling out, she was waking up and stuff. And it was so suffocatingly hot.
Yeah, you were just drenched in sweat as you laid there trying to sleep.
Yeah.
It was miserable.
So I was not asleep, but thankfully the power came back on around midnight and we all slept a little bit better.
Yeah, the AC makes a big difference. And I've said this multiple times, but if you've ever camped in the Midwest here in Missouri, you would understand summertime camping is not a thing if if you don't have AC, because it is just so hot and humid. You can do it, it's just not enjoyable.
No. So this morning, I think we're gonna get things packed down, and then we'll probably go visit some of the beaches here at the Lake of the Ozarks State Park, and then see where the day takes us. All right, so we made it to the beach. We got What are we calling her? Little Betty.
Little Betty Mac.
Little Betty Mac.
Working title.
Yep. Got Little Betty Mac all closed down, so she's ready to get hitched and pulled when we gotta go. So we're just gonna relax at the beach.
So this little public beach is here in the state park, the Lake of the Ozarks State Park, where we were camping at. Tons of campsites, tons of different little amenities here, playgrounds for kids to play on, boat parking, there's a boat slip, you can rent boats here, and of course this public beach. So that's really nice. So we're gonna enjoy this. We don't have to be out of our spot. Checkout is at 2 p.m. So we'll enjoy this, have a little lunch, and then hook up Little Betty Mac to the Subaru and head back towards our house in St. Louis. But it's been a really fun weekend. It's fun to show you guys our new pop-up camper, and you'll probably see a little bit more of it as we go on our little weekend adventures. What do you think, Reagan? Oh, she's gonna be shy. Okay, Reagan, we gotta do our sign off. So, what's our sign off?
Until next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.